Some women have become so accustomed to internal tension that they no longer remember what steadiness feels like. They wake up tired. They move through their days carrying a lot of invisible pressure. They respond to text. They make decisions, take care of responsibilities, hold entire lives together. And yet, internally, they feel exhausted, disconnected, emotionally completely overloaded, or strangely numb. And because they're still functioning, because they're still showing up, because they are still performing, no one realizes how much they are carrying. Sometimes not even them. Many high-functioning women have spent so many years learning to adapt to stress, responsibility, emotional survival, caregiving, heartbreak, pressure, performance, or simply trying to hold everything together. That survival mode has quietly become normal. Eventually, the body begins to communicate what the mind has been trying to override for years. This workshop is not about diagnosing you. It's not about telling you that your life is broken. It's about helping you recognize something that many women have normalized for far too long. The constant internal bracing, not being able to fully relax, the quiet exhaustion, the feeling of always carrying something. Many women believe this is simply what you do when you are a grown adult. It is leadership. It is being strong. It's just what it means to be a parent. But most often, what they're actually experiencing is a nervous system that has spent years trying to adapt to stress and survival. And, after a while, the body forgets how to feel safe. So today I want to talk about the hidden cost of staying in survival mode for too long. Not just emotionally, but physically, mentally, relationally, and physiologically. Because many women are functioning every day inside of their body that no longer feels calm. And eventually, that changes the way they experience life itself. When most people think about stress, they think about emotional overwhelm, but survival mode is much quieter than that. Sometimes it looks like, you're always thinking ahead, difficulty relaxing, feeling guilty while resting, numbness, difficulty sleeping deeply, waking up and still feeling so tired, feeling detached from yourself, and always scanning for what needs to happen next. Sometimes it looks like a woman who seems completely capable on the outside, while internally feeling like her nervous system never fully switches off. And over time, the body adapts to this state. The nervous system begins to operate as though pressure is permanent, as though vigilance is necessary, as though rest is unsafe. And this affects far more than mood. It affects your sleep, your digestion, your blood sugar regulation, inflammation, focus, metabolism, hormonal balance, relationship, patience, and so much more. Many women don't realize that the body keeps adapting to the environment it experiences repeatedly. So if a woman has spent years caregiving, bracing, suppressing herself, surviving conflict, navigating divorce, carrying financial stress, living under chronic pressure, her body may eventually begin functioning as though tension is the baseline. And what's difficult is that high-functioning women are often praised for the very coping mechanism exhausting them. They're praised for pushing through, carrying everything, never slowing down, handling stress well, being dependable. But most of the time, what people call strength is actually adaptation. And adaptation comes with a cost. You cannot heal in a body that still believes it has to brace against life. And many women don't even realize they are bracing anymore because they've been doing it for years. The cost of survival mode is rarely dramatic. Usually it happens slowly, quietly, through daily lived erosion. A woman keeps functioning, keeps performing, keeps showing up, but internally she begins disappearing. She feels disconnected from herself. Joy feels harder to access. Rest never fully restores her. Her mind is constantly occupied. Her body feels tense. She feels emotionally flattened. And then loneliness can begin to appear in subtle ways too. Not always because she's physically alone, but because survival mode disconnects people from themselves. And when someone is deeply disconnected from themselves, it can become very difficult to feel fully connected to life. And many women in survival mode become highly efficient, but not deeply nourished. They become productive, responsible, reliable, but they stop feeling fully alive. And over time, the body begins communicating this more loudly, sometimes through exhaustion, through weight gain, blood sugar instability, chronic tension, digestive issues, emotional burnout, anxiety, numbness, and many women blame themselves. They think, I just need to have more discipline. I need to get it together. I need to try harder. But most of the time, the issue is not a lack of discipline. It's that the nervous system has spent so many years feeling under pressure that the body begins protecting itself. Many women are trying to build calm lives from internally braced bodies, and that's exhausting. One of the saddest things I think, about survival mode is that women will often become so used to carrying tension that they stop questioning it. They stop, asking, what would ease actually feel like? What would safety feel like? What would it feel like to stop performing survival all the time? And because this state develops slowly, it can really often become normalized. Women start saying things like, this is just life. This is just what it means to be a mother. This is just what it's like to live in the world. Or they'll say, it's just stress. It's just my hormones. But survival mode changes how women experience life. It changes how they sleep, how they eat, how they connect, how they think, how they feel, how they lead, how they love, how they experience their own bodies. And many women have been surviving for so long that they no longer remember what internal steadiness feels like. For so many women, especially women who are 40 plus, there comes a point where pushing harder stops working. More discipline doesn't create peace. More pressure doesn't create steadiness. More force doesn't create safety. And many women start to become frustrated because the strategies that once worked no longer seem to help. They try, a stricter routine, more productivity, more self-control, more dieting, more pushing. But the body starts to ask for something different. No more force, but safety. No more pressure, but regulation. No more performance, but reconnection. The nervous system was never designed to remain in chronic survival indefinitely. And when a woman finally begins creating internal steadiness, so many things begin shifting. Sleep improves, presence improves, clarity improves, emotional resilience improves, decision-making improves, relationships improve, metabolic health improves, because calm is not laziness. Steadiness is a biological advantage. Women don't need to become entirely different people. Many simply need to stop abandoning themselves physiologically and emotionally. The body can relearn safety. The nervous system can experience calm again. And healing will often begin not through intensity, but through awareness, through really understanding, through compassion, through slowing down enough to finally recognize what the body has been carrying for years. I want to leave you with a few questions, and I don't want you to rush through them. Just notice what comes up. When was the last time you truly felt internally steady? Not productive, not distracted, not temporarily relaxed, but deeply steady. When was the last time your body didn't feel like it was carrying something? What has your nervous system been adapting to for years? What emotional weight have you normalized? What would it feel like to stop constantly bracing against life? What would change if your body no longer felt under threat all the time? Many women have spent years trying to force themselves into wellness while remaining disconnected from safety internally. But healing rarely begins through punishment. It often begins through recognition. Healing begins through finally understanding my exhaustion makes sense. My body has been carrying more than I realize. I am not weak for feeling overwhelmed. And if this workshop resonated with you deeply, I want you to know that steadiness is possible. The body can relearn calm. the nervous system can experience safety again. You are not broken. You are likely adapted, and adaptation can change. I created my Bracing to Steadiness Reset Kit for women who want practical tools to begin reconnecting with calm, steadiness, and internal safety again. And if you feel ready for some deeper support, you can also learn more about my coaching and grounded rebuilding program in the description below. Thank you for being here, and more importantly, thank you for listening to what your body may have been trying to say to you for a very long time.